Welcome to AI Pulse. It is March 11th, 2026, and today is the day that our relationship with artificial intelligence fundamentally changes. Let's get right into it. For years, we've thought of AI as a helpful tool, right? A co-pilot, something that gives us suggestions. Well, as of today, that entire way of thinking is officially out of date. AI isn't just generating ideas anymore. It's actually taking the controls. And that brings us to our first big story today, what we're calling the agentic pivot. Thanks to the latest release from OpenAI, we are seeing a massive shift in what AI is capable of, from just making stuff to actually running stuff. So the key phrase you're going to hear a lot is operative intelligence. And this isn't about just drafting an email for you. This is about an AI that can literally see your screen, move your mouse, click on things, and use software just like a person would. But, at the speed of a machine. So what makes all this possible all of a sudden? Well, it comes down to this number, 1 million tokens. That is the new context window for GPT 5.4. To put that in perspective, that is enough memory to swallow an entire company's codebase or a massive legal library all in one go. It gives the AI a level of understanding we've just never seen before. Now, take a look at the economics here, because this is where it gets really wild. The standard version of GPT 5.4 is way more powerful than its predecessor, but it costs a fraction of the price. That score, the GDP val, is basically how smart it is. So what this tells us is that basic intelligence is getting incredibly cheap. It's becoming a commodity. But if you want an AI you can trust to run high-stakes, autonomous tasks, well, that's where the Pro version comes in, and it commands a huge premium. That's a whole new market right there. And listen, this isn't some abstract future tech. It is already here in the tools you probably use every single day. Google's latest Gemini update is the perfect example. You can just ask it, hey, organize my move, and it will literally scan your Gmail, find the moving quotes, and build a whole spreadsheet for you automatically. That is the shift from assistant to operator in a nutshell. But as you can probably guess, this kind of leap in power doesn't happen without creating some serious conflict. Our next story is a full-blown geopolitical crisis that's pitting the people who make AI directly against the US government. At the very heart of this is a standoff. On one side, you have Anthropic, one of the top AI labs. They've drawn some ethical red lines in the sand, saying their AI can't be used for mass surveillance or for fully autonomous weapons. On the other side, you have the Pentagon, demanding unfettered access and saying a private company shouldn't get to decide national defense policy. So what happens next? Well, something pretty much unheard of. The US government has officially labeled Anthropic as supply chain risk. Think about that. They're treating a leading American tech company like a foreign adversary. And that puts hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts at risk. But this move completely backfired because it triggered this incredible moment of unity in the industry. In a pretty stunning move, researchers from Anthropic's biggest competitors, we're talking Google DeepMind and OpenAI, they all filed a legal brief supporting Anthropic. Their argument is really clear. If you punish companies for trying to be safe, you're just going to hurt American innovation in the long run. And it all boils down to this one monumental question. When AI gets this powerful, who actually gets to decide what's right and wrong? The people who created it or the governments that want to use it? Now, this whole revolution, it's not just happening in software and on our screens. It is moving out into the physical world. Let's take a look at how what's being called physical AI is making its way to the factory floor. So, over in Japan, this logistics giant called Daifuku has a new lab with just one mission, completely automate distribution centers. And they're using physical AI and these digital copies of their warehouses to build robots that need almost zero human help. And get this, they're speeding it all up with a method they actually call vibe coding, which, yeah, it sounds a little silly, but it's basically using AI to turn a general idea into working code for the robots. Pretty cool. And this is happening right here in the US, too. A new center in Michigan has autonomous robots patrolling for safety issues, cameras making sure workers are wearing the right protective gear, and an AI that can predict when a machine is about to break down. That alone reduces downtime by up to 40%. This is what manufacturing looks like now. Okay, so all this transformation is creating a brand new global economy. And the numbers? Well, the numbers show a gigantic shift in money and power. If you need one number to understand the scale of what's happening, just look at NVIDIA. They just reported quarterly revenue of $68.1 billion. That's the sound of the entire world rushing to build the infrastructure for this new age. And hey, don't take my word for it. NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, said it himself. He said, the agentic AI inflection point has arrived. This isn't something that's coming, it's the economic reality we are living in right now. And this boom is also concentrating wealth at a rate that is just hard to comprehend. The latest rich list shows what they're calling an AI wealth surge. The fortunes of the people at the top of this revolution are just skyrocketing. Look at those percentages. Meanwhile, China is playing a completely different game. Their new 5-year plan is going all in on AI, but not just for wealth. They see it as a way to create jobs for millions of new graduates and to offset a shrinking workforce. For them, this is about national stability and technological dominance. So, with all of this new power, this economic chaos, these geopolitical fights, we finally arrive at the most important challenge of all. How in the world do we govern these new autonomous agents? And maybe more importantly, how do we trust them? Well, researchers at Appier just rolled out a possible piece of this solution. It's a framework that basically teaches an AI to think before it acts. First, it does the task, but then it stops and asks itself, how confident am I in this answer? And finally, what are the consequences if I'm wrong? It's a way to build an AI that actually knows when to say, I'm not sure. And the big companies are getting very serious about this. OpenAI just went out and bought a company called PromptFu. Their entire business is built around testing and securing AI agents, essentially trying to break them to find the weaknesses. That tells you that security is now priority number one. So it all comes down to this. We've spent years asking, can we build this kind of AI? And today, the answer is clearly yes, we've done it. The challenge for us, moving forward, is no longer about creation. It's about governance. It's about setting the rules of the road for this incredible new power. And the real question we all have to face is, are we ready for that job?